I think it's important to give some context to this particular passage. You see, Paul's words are really a part of a larger project that's going on. He's gathering an offering from churches all across the Mediterranean to support believers in Jerusalem who were experiencing poverty and famine. And this story isn't just about money. It's not some ancient stewardship campaign. And I also want to make sure that it's not taken in this vein of that we often hear of this generosity gospel. Where if you just do this much, God will give you this much. That's not what's going on in our story today. See, Paul sees generosity as a visible sign of God's grace, a lived out theology of abundance. See, he tells the church in Corinth, the Corinthians, those who make up the church, when you give, you are participating in the very character of God, whose nature is to give, to bless, to pour out love freely. Now, in the Greek, the word translated as abundance literally means overflow. Paul is painting this picture of God's grace spilling over, grace that doesn't just fill us, but flows through us and into the lives of those around us. You see, the Corinthians, they lived in a world that was measured the value of scarcity. That's how they measured things. It was by what you didn't have. But Paul invites them and us into a kingdom where value is measured by generosity. Now, I know that this sometimes can make us a little uneasy when we have conversations about money in the church. It can make us a little uncomfortable because we've all heard the appeals that sound more like guilt than grace-filled invitations. But what I love about what Paul does here is he reframes the conversation. He says, each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly, not under compulsion, not under any kind of pressure, because God loves a cheerful giver. And that word cheerful, it comes from the Greek word hilaros. What word does that look like? Hilarious, right? Have you ever given hilariously? Anybody? Anybody ever? If you have, I want to sit at your feet for just a little while. I don't think I've ever given hilariously. Can you imagine what that might look like? What that might mean? Essentially, what Paul is saying here is he's saying that generosity should bring joy, even laughter. Because when we give freely, we're participating in the very nature of God. And it becomes grace in motion.